Good morning. How you guys doing? How has your week been? Welcome, 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 and happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. I hope all has been well with you. I'm here and I'm just going to take just a few minutes. I wanted to give you guys a few updates of what I'm going to be pushing out in the next week. And then I want to talk a little bit about my experience from just talking about the Idaho 4 case. Um, I'm getting ready to do an updated video on Michael Kelly. Michael Kelly was one of the people that I did videos on because I wanted to demonstrate that it doesn't matter how old you are. If you are allegedly, potentially harming minors, harming children, doing things that are illegal, it does not stop with age. It does not stop. So we have to protect children, protect society from you. So I want to give an update on his case and what's going on with him. He's going to trial. He went to court in October and he's set to go to trial in one of his cases. So I want to give you an update on Michael Kelly, what's going on with him. I'm going to give you an update of what's going on in the Ernest Williams case. He's been back to court trying to get his bond reduced. His bond was set at $800,000 and he was able to get a small reduction. So I'm going to give you an update on that. And then, as you've seen, things have moved very quickly with the case that Cassidy, the civil case that against Sean Combs. So I'm going to try to get that video um, together in a way where I put everything together. I put the civil complaint plus the fact that it's already been settled. It's settled in like less than 1 day. So I'm going to try to bring all of that together in one video to talk about the civil complaint, detail that some of the allegations there. I'll give you a warning now, it's explicit. The details of that involve abuse, some criminal allegations of assault, of assault, physical assault, drug use, things like that. So we're going to go in depth in that civil complaint and read that civil complaint all the way through. It's 35 pages. So we'll probably need about 2 hours to go through that and just update us all on what is next. What is next for Sean Combs? What is the plan going forward for Cassie and how she feels and everything? There's been statements released. So we're going to put all of that together. So I'll have that. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. And then just looking forward to some of the things that are coming up in December. Ethan Crumbly is going to court for his sentencing. And, we can look forward to maybe even an update on the Nagazi Zuberi case. So I'm going to look into that and possibly some other cases. So those are things to come. But today I'm just here to briefly just give my small experience of doing these videos, just talking about forensics, talking about criminal justice, talking about um, just ways to keep yourself safe, things that can help you identify if there is a danger, if there is a threat. And in all honesty, this is information that can help you, that can possibly save a life, or information you can share. So if you like the content, you can always put comments. I do read all of the comments. A lot of times I will respond if that's appropriate. You can like the video, you can share the video, you can subscribe so you can be notified when I'm dropping new videos, more content, updating you on different cases, right? So that's always cool to do. But I just want to express something that I felt this morning. So I'm just leisurely over the weekend. I had put a comment on a different YouTube video involving what's been going on in the Idaho 4 case. Specifically, it was basically a 1 year update on Brian Koberger, where his criminal case is at. And I just put a comment that said, hey, we can't overlook the self-defense wounds, that there are none, right? And this is 100% facts. Now, we don't know all the facts. We don't know everything that's happening in the case. But this fact right here, that's not going to be able to be downplayed. You're going to have to address it at some point. And it's highly likely that the killer or killers of the Idaho 4, they had defensive wounds. So I was getting all these responses, and it was fine. I don't mind responding and kind of detailing why I feel or why I think the way I think. And the bottom line is there, I'm seeing now that there is really a danger when wrongful information, misinformation, a lack of information, a lack of transparency is out there, and so much has gone out. People really, truly believe everything that's out there. I mean, they if you tell them a time, they believe it. It doesn't have to be supported, it has to be documented. And I'm all about facts, evidence, expert witness testimony, video. I need proof. This is how you represent someone, you prosecute someone with evidence, not just saying that something is true. However, people maybe with a little bit less experience, and that's my opinion, they don't understand that. Everything somebody says is not true. Everything that's out there on YouTube or just videos or that's out in the news, it does not make it true. It is what you can prove. A lot of information doesn't even come out in trial because it's what's allowed at trial also. And it's what you can prove, what you can show, what you can demonstrate. So I say that all the time, and that holds fact. But what I'm starting to see, there is a danger when you're prosecuting someone. All of this information is leakage. This leakage that I've been saying for months now that has been getting out. People believe what has been said, what has been put out there. Whether it's true or not, right? We don't know. There has not been the start of the case yet. The trial has not happened. But so much leakage, so much information that's out there, I'm literally responding to information that's not fact. We have no idea what the person was wearing. We have no idea if there was more than one killer. There was information out there that I could have said that they said one of the roommates a naked person leaving the house. I never said that because there hasn't been a trial. So that would mean that one roommate saw someone walking past her, and then another roommate saw someone leaving out the house naked. I never said that because then if I say it, if other people pick on, if everybody's saying this information that hasn't been at trial, that may lead people to feel that there's more than one killer, or that the two stories don't match, don't make sense, or that that the roommates potentially possibly are lying because in the beginning people thought that they were sleeping. That is what the um, information that came out initially. But as we've seen in this case, so much has changed, so much detail, so much information that is very hard to report. And that's why I don't do it. I try not to really touch a lot of things that are out there because I just don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's being pushed, if there's an agenda to sway a possible jury, to sway America or the world, because this is being seen all over the world. But what I do know is it's having an effect. I'm literally responding to people who are saying things out there. It's not reported in the PCA. It hasn't come out in court. It hasn't come out in a court document. They're telling me the clothing of the alleged killer. And I'm thinking, well, how do you know that? How do you know? Where did you get it from? I'm not asking them, but I'm thinking this because I know when I'm speaking, when I'm writing, I'm referring to documents. Even if I don't agree, for example, with something that's in the PCA, this is still a written statement that was provided as a part of this case. So I'm referring to that. I'm not creating anything outside of that type of information. So I think there is a real fine danger that people have already made their decision. I was told that I knew other possible potential killers. I said, well, I have no connection to the state of Idaho at all. In all honesty, I don't. I'm just going off of my opinion that there are other possible people that could be likely better suspects than the Brian Kohlberger suspect, alleged assailant. Um, and that's my opinion. And they wanted to know, well, name them. Well, I feel like if I name people, if I put that out there, I should have something solid, concrete to support that because I don't want to say that about someone or several people and I can't prove it. I can't really support it in a meaningful way. It's just things that I have seen, things that I've learned throughout this past year that I feel that it could be three or four other people, which is terrible, right? Because if we're prosecuting someone, one person, and there's likely other potential suspects, other people that possibly have more ties, right? That had a greater chance, that maybe had a record, a criminal record, or some of their behaviors, right, would make you believe that they could have possibly did the Idaho 4 murders. I don't want to say that. I don't want to put someone's name out there, but they're pushing me. Oh, you should do it. No, I'm not going to do that without concrete evidence, concrete information. That would be to me wrong of me to do that. So I'm starting to realize that this misinformation campaign, this sending all these details out, whether they're true or not, because most of them are not vetted. They're not coming with the sources. They're just out there. People believe what's out there. I know from things that I've listened to, people that had accounts that live in Idaho, that live um, near 1122 King Road. I listen to them. I'm interested to know what they know. And not just a one person account, it's multiple people, it's multiple platforms that this information is on. And I'm still not really reporting it, right? I might share it on the Hidden Horror Facebook page, but I'm still not coming on here and pushing those things, but it gives me something to think about and consider. And I'm putting all of this information together. And again, I feel that there's multiple other possible suspects that are more likely to have committed the murders other than Mr. Kohlberger. But I don't get in here and I don't say that. I just stick to the fact that he's been arrested, he's being prosecuted, and what do I feel about that? What do I see about that? What evidence? What have I learned from my experience? Just trying to apply all of that knowledge. But I'm starting to see there's a great danger in what I was saying we should not be doing, should not be out there. These leaks, all this information, people are really believing the leaks. They don't care that the time was changed of the murder time. They don't care, excuse me, they don't care that the year of the vehicle changed. They just don't care. They don't care. They don't care about the evidence. They don't care about the roommates not calling police that were called first, that there's this large gap of hours where we don't know what was happening in the house, what they were doing in the house. They don't care. They feel that is this particular person, no matter what, even if it doesn't make sense, even if this person doesn't have a scratch on them, that they could have unalived 4 people with not even a scratch. And they're making all of these ideas up in their mind. They said, well, the roommates were sleeping, but we know, see, this is the thing about experience, right? From experience, you know certain information. We know that typically if a person has defensive wounds, that they were fighting back, they were trying to take the knife, for example, they were fighting the assailant, they were fighting from the attack. We know that is that the person was not asleep. Because typically, if the person is asleep, it's very hard to ward off a knife attack when the person is already sleeping. They just don't have the time. The strikes, the blows, the severity of those wounds. Most people don't have. Most people don't have defensive wounds if they're sleeping. We know that from history, right? From studying crime, from studying crime scenes, victim wounds. We don't see that, but we know, or we're told allegedly, that some of the victims had disabilities. No, they weren't sleeping. But I'm being told in these other forums, oh, the victims were sleeping, and that's how it happened in 7 minutes, or the victims were sleeping and they couldn't fight back, or they didn't fight back, or um, what was the other comment? It was something like that's how it could have happened so fast, and um, pretty much, you know, they could have been one person attack if the victims were sleeping, but pretty much we know that at least two of the victims received defensive wounds and they were not asleep at the time of the attack, at the start of the attack. We also have to think about it in a way. Is it possible, is it likely that one person could attack two people in each room on separate floors? That requires maybe holding down one person, trying to keep that one person still or two people still, and also use the knife at the same time, even though we know from the defensive wounds that some of the roommates were not asleep. It's all these things that we have to consider and think, well, is there one person that did this, or is it more than one person? Um, Even if it was one person, is it likely that they would not have any defensive wounds, having like two people in each room? What's the likelihood of that? And pretty much we know they were not asleep. Now we can also look at where the defensive wounds are, where the angle of the knife was, and we can kind of determine where the assailant was. Were they standing up? Were they lowered? How tall were they? Did they have to stretch to reach the victim? Again, was it more than one assailant, more than one killer? There's so many things we can glean from those crime scene photos, from the autopsy, from the wounds. Um, I just hope that they did an excellent job. When I say they, I mean the medical examiner did an excellent job with the autopsy, so we can figure out how tall was the assailant, what was the distance from the assailant to the victims at the time of the attack, who was attacked first. All of these things matter because we can see a layering of blood, what blood from which victim was have fallen first, and then if the other victim's blood cast over, we can see who was attacked first, or were they attacked at the same time. All of this plays into why it's so important that we don't have this leakage of information, misinformation. And my greater concern is now so many people have made the decision of or innocence, or they are believing all of the leaks, and that is the danger. And that was something that I felt because I'm responding, and my comments are being dismissed. Oh, I want to address that. I want to address that. I said I could literally pose hundreds of questions about this, not even talking about Mr. Kohlberger. I'm just talking and focusing on the four victims. That will always be my focus, because whether it be Kohlberger or a different assailant or multiple assailants, it's about going through that crime scene, identify evidence, processing that evidence, trying to figure out what happened. And we need those roommates to testify. We need them to be truthful, to be honest. We need their records. We need their phone records, their data searches, text messages, everything. We need to know who was caught over there the morning of the murders. What were they doing? How long were they there? Where were they in the house? What were they doing all of that time? Why did they not call the police? In the PCA, Brett Payne says that when he entered the second floor, he could see the body of a victim, a female victim, which was later found to be Zaina. Why didn't they see Zaina if they came out of the bedroom on the second floor or came upon the second floor? If Brett Payne could see Zaina's body? It's simple questions. It's a fair question. Why would it take more hours to call the police? No ambulance call, no parents call, nobody called but other friends or sorority people. I don't know. We still don't know who made the call. We don't know what was said on the call. It's just so much. Before I can ever even dissect Brian Koberger or any person as a suspect, we have to go back to the crime scene. We need to know what was happening. We need to actually go back prior to the day of the murders, November 13th, 2022. We need to go back. What happened in the weeks and the months leading up into the murders? Because from all accounts, there were accounts of reports, and we need to get those police records and phone calls of people calling into the police, um, just of unknown people outside of the house, standing outside in black. We know that another sorority house, or different sorority house, there was a man all in black, and the police were called, and they tried to find them. They couldn't find them. We need to know more about the alleged stalker. Did the girls actually have a stalker? The family knew, the friends knew, people in the community knew there was a potential stalker. What happened with all of that? What are the reports on all of this information? It's so much investigation that could be going on or should have gone on in the days and weeks after the murders that I'm not just concerned that Brian Koberger is the alleged suspect, but aren't there other potential suspects that are way more likely to have been involved outside of Mr. Koberger, where they had the means, the motive, and opportunity? There have been so much information that have come out, whether it be true or not. Are those leads being investigated thoroughly, specifically about the stalker, about some of the police reports of the man that was outside of the house in the black, the man that was in the sorority house, the alleged stalker of one of the female victims. This is separate from even the actual murders. It's so much work that needs to be done, and hopefully it has been done. And hopefully the families are wanting to know the same information. Hopefully they're asking the same questions or more questions. I could pose, literally, I could sit down and have a live and do nothing but pose questions, my thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts about this case, and just not having so much information. And I'm hoping and praying that it's going to come out in the trial, that there will be more details, more evidence from the prosecution, but also the defense can do some of this work. They can look into the alleged stalker of one of the victims. They can look into those police reports and police calls about a man standing outside of the house. Because I know I saw it, and possibly other people, you can see right inside that house. Lights on, no window coverings. Listen, if you're out there, you have a home where you're staying. Even if you like to have your blinds open at some point in the day, please make sure that you're putting coverings up and closing those blinds. Whatever the window treatment is, drapes, please close them, because you do not want to have a peek or get a stalker from somebody following you or riding past one day and looking into your house. Please just take measures to protect yourself. Okay. So I just want to make sure that on this page there's some transparency, that we're being clear, forthright, very detailed and honest about all of the possibilities, all of the potential suspects, and that not necessarily identifying a suspect, but just going over the fact that there is room, there is space here where there's possibly other someone else that could have done this, outside of the suspect right now, Brian Koberger. So I just wanted to hop on here and say that. And let's always be considerate and respectful in the comments. I do respond to comments, so you're welcome to place them. I'm always respectful, and I'm only going to respond with known factual information that can be supported somewhere, not so much all of the other things that are out there. I want to keep this page above board. I don't want to have any issues. I'm not wanting to misreport or malign anyone or say something negative about a person that is possibly not true. I don't want to do that. I just want to stick to the facts. And hopefully, as we move forward, more news outlets, more reporters will also do the same. I know they get the high views, they have the salacious titles. I'm not going to have that here. I'm going to do the right thing. And this is also because this requires us in these endeavors. We're seeking justice. The picture that I have up here is Lady Justice. This is a depiction of what should be happening. Let me tell you a little bit. Lady Justice is holding two scales. These scales are the balance. The balance is for the evidence that's going to be presented. In fact, let me tell you. They talk about the three things, and I love this, right? There's a blindfold, but sometimes she's shown without a blindfold. But the blindfold is really so that there's not any unfairness, that everyone is treated equally the same. Now, that's my opinion. The other thing is, again, the scales of justice, right? That there has to be a balance. We want evidence, we want truth, we want testimony, we want all of this, but we're going to weigh it against whatever the opinion is, whatever the verdict is in the case. And we want that to be balanced out. And then the last thing is the sword. I think about the sword as protection. Take away any lies, anything that's untrue, anything that's coming to depict something that is false, that's trying to, what I say, tank the case or the leakage, things like that. That is what the sword is for. It's for protection. And these are all, to me, values, very important ideas. These are things that we can look to when cases are happening, right? I want to read to you something that I pulled up on Lady Justice. It says, the balance is the scales. They represent weighing facts and evidence to decide a verdict. It also shows duty to restore balance to society, because this is always a mirror to society, right? We want to make sure that we're getting justice for these four people, but also this is to balance and restore healthiness to society, that we're not going to allow this to happen to people, that they're going to be able to commit a crime such as this and not be receiving their justice. They deserve to be brought to justice, to be tried, to be convicted, to be punished. And this is how you restore society. It says, although many people think of Lady Justice as wearing a blindfold, she can also be shown without one. Both versions highlight her being impartial. We want fairness. We want fairness in the prosecution. We want fairness in the evidence, the sharing of the evidence, that each side, the prosecution and the defense, that's the balance of the scales again, that they're balanced, that they're the same, that we all have the same footing, okay? Equality. That's what we want in this case, in all cases, right? Okay. I want to read this one to you too, because they have some great things. The scales of justice relate to fairness in the judicial process. Didn't I just say that? They indicate that each side of a case will be considered a court case. Additionally, the scales underscore that decisions will be made by weighing evidence in a fair manner. The sword symbolizes Lady Justice's authority to make decisions. Again, in this Idaho 4 murder case with Brian Koberger, it is so important that all of the evidence is shared, that they have the same equal footing, that they have the same knowledge, that they have the same information. That's how you put on a fair trial. He has the right to decide if he wants to use this information, review it, have expert testimony, have his own testing of the evidence, have his own experts, right? So that is what Lady Justice is about. And it's not just protecting the assailant or the defendant's rights, the alleged assailant and the defendant's rights, and or the defendant's rights, excuse me. It's really about getting justice for those victims and their families. Again, this mirrors to the community that we're not going to stand for this violence, for this evil. And we're out here and we're fighting and we're trying to get all of the facts, all of the information so that a decision can be weighed. Again, we want to balance the scales where both sides have the known evidence. You don't hide the evidence. You don't bury the evidence. You don't bury it behind motions to prevent the other side from getting it, reviewing it, processing it, just trying to filter through what is going on with this evidence, right? So all of that plays into when you reflect out to the community, they're not getting misinformation, they're getting facts. They're getting known information, known evidence, all the testimony, so even they can see. And we're protecting the legacy of the judicial system by having this balanced scale, this justice, not getting justice in our own way, veering off, pursuing it on our own. No, there is a system in place. There's police, there's law enforcement, there's a whole judicial system set up to prosecute these cases. Laws have been made for these very reasons. And it's all to go back to restore society. I love that, okay? I love that. So I just wanted to hop on here and say we're going to keep focusing on facts, known evidence, things that are put out properly by law enforcement, by the prosecution, by the defense, testimony, expert witnesses. We want details, we want evidence, we want to know the truth. So when a decision is made justly, is fairly, is balanced, both sides have the same information are working. Okay? So that is to bring justice to the victims, their families, and to the community. We want to restore community. We want to keep the faith that justice will prevail and we will find the assailant or assailants of these 4 victims who brutally took their lives with no cause, no just cause. Okay? So I just want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm going to roll out a few videos. I'm going to try to do the short videos, Mr. Kelly's video and Mr. Williams' video later. I'm going to try to squeeze them in before my meetings tonight. I'll try to come back and do those. And then tomorrow I'm going to try to take some time out somehow, some way, and do a civil complaint involving Mr. Combs. So thank you for checking out this video. Be well, be safe. If I don't see you in a video anytime soon, have a beautiful holiday. Enjoy this time with your family, being so appreciative, so thankful. So many people have a reason to be thankful, to be here, to wake up today, have our limbs, our mind, the abilities in our body. So we have so much to be grateful, to be thankful for family, friends, for love, and just each other, right? So I am screaming out. I am giving you a virtual hug. It's that big old hug. I'm screaming out happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving to you, your family. I want you to just enjoy yourself, have a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. Let's be happy, be joyous, and be well. Take care. Be well, my friends. Okay? Hopefully I will see you in another video very soon. Take care. Be well, my friends. See you very soon. Bye. Bye, everybody.